welcome to the reunion of The Real Housewives of New York, Season 12, Part 1. I'm just going to mention now, if you haven't seen the show yet, that a very important question is answered at the end of this part of the reunion. It explains so much, and they never really gave us any hint of it during the season, but they definitely knew about it because while it was going on, they were filming it. But enough of the teaser. I'm so glad you could join me. I almost didn't make it for filming tonight because I had, my husband and I both had a kind of a stomach bug, and just a few hours ago I was not doing well at all, but then I kind of rallied, felt better, and now I can get this recap and also the Real Housewives of Potomac out. For those of you who also are on my other two channels, which also include 90 Day Fiancé, I'll be doing Darcy and Stacey and 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After recaps within the next few days, as well as part 3 of Beverly Hills Reunion. So we'll see what happens there. Okay, I really want to take some time to thank some people because I've been really surprised and happy and delighted by the support I've been receiving and the new subscribers. And I know I say this every time, but I'm a baby content creator. This is really new for me. It's just passing 2 months now. So it's really exciting to get comments popping up all the time and seeing, you know, a few new subs every day, and it's really fun. I love it. It's going to be harder and harder for me to consolidate the 3 channels down because now I'm getting almost an equal number on, not quite, but almost an equal number on all 3 channels. So I don't know, I might just keep it as it is. I mention all 3 channels, so those of you who want to follow both 90 Day and Real Housewives, you can pick and choose which ones you want. Once I make a video, it's easy for me to post it on 2 channels. You can post the same video on 2 different channels, but not 3. I wouldn't do that anyway. So just a reminder, there's Real Housewives Tea and Shade, TEA and Shade, which is all things Real Housewife. And we're going to have a lot coming up. We have Salt Lake City in a couple months. We have Orange County coming up. They're going to keep us busy all year. And we'll be here for everything except Dallas, which I don't cover for a specific reason. But okay, so there's also Intelligent Reality Recaps is channel number 2. That one is the crossover that does all things Real Housewives and also all things in the 90 Day family, including Darcy and Stacey and other spin-offs. Then finally, there is 90 Day Fiancé Let's Judge Together, which is just the 90 Day family of shows. All right, if you'll bear with me for just 1 minute longer before I start the recap, I really want to thank some people. I want to welcome to our little shady tribe. I want to welcome Mary Pichitello. I might have already thanked you because I have to also keep track of who's on just the 90 Day and who's on the crossover plus Housewives Tea and Shade. So if I already thanked you, well, you can't be thanked too much, right? So thank you very much for subscribing, and also love your comments. Great comments. Okay. Welcome, Annetta Wright. So happy to have you. Emily Sampson, thank you very much for joining us. Jess B, welcome. Sandra Babb, happy to have you. Terrence George, again, very happy to have you with us. Thank you. Nadine Thornhill, thank you so much for joining. And Chika Ofogbu, I hope that's right. I lived in Africa, but there's a million different languages in Africa. So that doesn't look like Chinyanja or Chichewa or Swahili. And if it's not one of those, I'm not sure, but I'm really happy to have you here. Welcome. Text me and tell me what country you're from, or you might be here in the States, but what country you're families from, because love knowing that we have, international people on the show. So let me know. And welcome. All right. Welcome, Deb Kostanyuk. Great observations. I mean, honestly, I keep saying this in my comments, but I feel like it's a small group, but it's a very clever group. So, welcome, Shannon Stokes, who is a Potomac fan. Yay, a lady after my own heart. Very excited to have you here with us. And Cindy M., I always love hearing from you. Diane Bates, what can I say? You're always on point. I mean, if you guys have the time, read some of the comments when you go on to the to look at the latest recap. Scroll down through the comments, because they're sharp. They don't miss a thing. I have to say thank you to Kathy Kearney. Welcome and thank you. She's so funny, and she reminded me how silly Rinna looked crying out, "The cover-up is worse than the crime," when there was no crime. Okay. And then, of course, all my other original tribe members. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. I can't tell you how much I'm enjoying this. And it's like little presents every day. Finding out, looking at numbers, seeing things going up, slowly, little by little, seeing the subs come in again slowly, little by little, and then best of all, reading your comments. So I'm sorry that was a little bit long, but I really want to get that out of the way. I won't do this every recap. I'll do it every few recaps. And I had kind of stored this up a little bit. So anyway, thank you for bearing with me, but I really wanted to tell everyone how much I appreciate you and how happy I am to have you join me in my boudoir. Okay, no one uses that word anymore. It's a good word. It's a good word. Okay, on to the recap. All right. Leah wears a very sexy sheer dress over a bodysuit, similar to the one she wore to Ramona's birthday party. Again, you can't really see anything. It's not even a thong bodysuit. It's a bodysuit, but the rest of it is sheer. So it's like she's wearing a one-piece bathing suit with a cover-up, but it's not obscene. And she also, she doesn't have like an enormous chest or something. She can get away with things like that without looking crass. Somehow, I think she looks very pretty. Dorinda looks very Dorinda, classic Dorinda, with the kind of sporty little feathered short hair, and the dress is completely, classic Dorinda. Ramona seems to have had a brow lift, or just tons of Botox, maybe for the reunion. I'm not sure. The brows are really high. Look at her eyebrows and the space between. Look at the height of her forehead and the shape of her brows, and tell me I might be way off base, but I feel like there's been a change there. And Botox right here. Okay, just you don't want to get carried away with it, because that's exactly the kind of thing I want to avoid. I don't want to. I know I'm always talking about my high forehead, but I don't want to make it go away by making my eyebrows go. Yeah. Anyway, but she does look good. She looks good. She's wearing kind of a classic black dress. Ramona looks amazing for her age. She really does. She looks good. She annoys the crap out of me, but she looks good. Luann looks elegant. Another kind of, simple black dress. Nothing earth-shaking, but, she looks pretty and elegant. And Sonja says she has an Ellen Barkin haircut, which is a weird reference. Ellen Barkin was an actress who made a few very famous movies, mostly in the 90s, like 80s and 90s. But in the New York social scene, she would be most famous for marrying the CEO of Revlon. I am going to guess that they're divorced by now, but I don't know. They might still be married. I think they're divorced. She had the biggest canary yellow diamond I've ever seen, other than the one that Richard gave Samantha on Sex and the City. Her ring was like that, like the ring that Richard Wright gave Samantha on Sex and the City, the giant canary yellow diamond. Yeah, she had that, a real one. So maybe she's hoping that the look will snag her a CEO. I don't know, but Yeah, I mean, if there, again, I don't love the haircut, but the rest of her, you know, the detox, the healthiness, the very successful face and neck lift, and I don't think she did anything that she did for a man, actually. I don't think that she's trying to score a CEO. I think that she's actually doing all this because she's just sick of kind of same old, and she kind of wants to pick up her spirits and, you know, maybe change her life and for the better. And look, she's not drinking, which is great. And it shows. It shows. So good for you, Sonja. I'm always in your corner. Okay. All right. Tinsley's there. Tinsley has the same hair, makeup, and lashes that she did 20 years ago, that she did on the show High Society. So, yeah, it wouldn't kill you to occasionally change. Look, I understand if you like long hair. Hello, me at my big age. I love the long hair. But her hair is very long, and she definitely goes for a very juvenile look. And she's a beautiful girl. You know, she can carry it off, but I don't know. And then she's wearing the princess ball gown. She's just she has a look that she likes, and she's gonna stick with that. So I can imagine what her wedding gown is gonna look like. It's gonna look like a giant cream puff. I wouldn't be surprised if she has a magic wand and a fairy princess crown and wings. I mean, she's oh, Tinsley, but I am rooting for her, and I do hope that this works out with Scott, because God knows, if no one has ever worked harder to make a relationship turn into an engagement than Tinsley Mortimer. So, okay. All right, they ask, how has quarantine affected everybody? And this is where the shade comes in right away. Ramona, as we all know, was in Boca Raton with Mario. Mario has a condo there. She was down there with Mario and Avery, and they were nesting for a couple months. Ramona says she is no longer in love with Mario. She loves him in a family sort of way, but she's no longer in love with him. We'll come back to that in a second. Sonja detoxed in a spa in Palm Springs. Apparently she went there for something that was meant to be a shorter time, but because the whole quarantine happened, she kind of got stuck there and changed her whole life and became this new, slim, healthy person. I mean, obviously she also went to a surgeon and things like that, but I feel like, yeah, in her case, she got stuck in the right place. I think she spent long enough there that they told her how to eat right, how to take care of herself, drink a lot of water, and maybe stay away from the alcohol. So it did her a world of good, clearly. We know that Luann sold the roundhouse because there wouldn't be enough people up there that would recognize her, and she would die of loneliness, and she would die from lack of applause, lack of appreciation, lack of, oh, it's the Countess, oh. So we're all thinking, oh my God, she must be dead inside from not having the cabaret, because Luann needs the cabaret. The cabaret is her life, and this image of being the Countess, it's become her life. She says she's working on the show. Okay, good, if it's keeping her busy. I mean, how much writing can she do? It's a show where she sings a few songs. She sings her greatest hits. Oh God. Tells a few jokes, brings on some guest stars. There's not like it's not like she's writing it's not like she's writing a 3-act play about, life and death in the modern city or something like that. It's not that deep. Anyway, she says that she's also writing that book, I believe she has a writer. She has a ghostwriter, which, no shade there. She's telling the story, and I'm sure she is, has editing privileges over what goes in the book. And so fundamentally it will be partly her creation. Using a ghostwriter as a collaboration in most cases. So, but I'm going to say, yeah, the lady that we met in one of the last episodes is a writer. And they said it. They didn't hide it. They said she was a writer. They didn't say this is her editor at Simon & Schuster. don't think this book is going to be Simon and Schuster, but it might be. I could be wrong. Anyway, but good luck to her. And I hope she's keeping busy, and I hope she's keeping out of trouble, which means not drinking too much in her case. Okay, now, Leah, rather than going into a lot about what Leah was doing during the quarantine, we go into her attacks on Ramona during the whole Miss Rona situation. Leah is very, very, she's very civic minded. She's very passionate about people doing the right thing and thinking about others, putting others first, keeping yourself safe, but also making sure that you are, doing the right things, keeping your distance, wearing a mask to help other people, to not endanger other people. It's as much or more for other people than it is, for yourself. So she she made more than one comment on Instagram about people who were going out, and Ramona and her family were running around Florida. They're posting all this fun stuff while they're in Florida. They're going out in Palm Beach. They're like, woo, with the drinks and the dancing and holding their glasses up and all that. And not wearing masks and out in public. And so Leah posted something about people doing things like that, and she gave a double middle finger to the camera in that Instagram post. She didn't use Ramona's name, but yeah, everyone knew who it was. It wasn't hard to put the pieces together there. She made it extremely obvious. The other thing that Leah commented about frequently was that Ramona was just having the best time. I'm having the best time. I'm having the best time in quarantine. It's amazing. I am finding a way to be even more fabulous. It's incredible. I feel like this is the time of my life. So yeah, Leah really goes into her on social media about that as well. Now Ramona puts on this pious face, and she says that, oh my God, during this whole time, you didn't see what I was doing. I was waking up at 4 a.m. and reading all the newspapers so that I could find out about every death in the entire country. She was so ridiculous. Her response was so over the top. She didn't say that, but she was like, I'm looking at the death tolls and I'm looking at everything that's going on. Ramona, bitch, you are not getting up at 4 a.m. and reading the New York Times and the Washington Post or even the Miami Herald, whatever, to get all the information about how many people died the night before. I think you probably, I'm going to say, turn on Fox News occasionally, and that is your idea of getting the news. Not to be political, this is a politics-free zone. But anyway, she's so full of BS. She's so full of BS. Okay, I just was laughing when she said that. I got up at 4 a.m. to read everything that was going on so that I could sit there and sob into my pillow afterwards about how horrible everything was, because it was really hard for me to get up the energy to look amazing and ageless and fabulous and go out that night and dance and party and shake my tatas with my girlfriends in clubs with no social distancing and no masks. Okay, she, yeah. Oh, wait, I forgot the best part. People said we were inspirational because we were living our lives. We were still living our lives and not letting this destroy us. She also lied because she tested positive for the antibodies at one point, which I guess meant she had it or a minimal case of it because she didn't have symptoms. But she also lied about donating blood, and there's no proof of that anywhere, that she donated antibodies to help people. Whatever. She went to a party in Palm Beach with Donald Trump Jr. and his girlfriend, Kimberly Guilfoyle, who it is taking every fiber of my being not to say anything about Donald Trump Jr. and his lovely girlfriend, Kimberly Guilfoyle. But the fact that Ramona would be very proud to be partying with Well, I mean, think about it. Kimberly Guilfoyle and Ramona have some things in common. Crazy eyes. Crazy eyes. Okay, and then she keeps saying, but I've done it. This sounds like someone I know. No, it was perfect. It was a perfect quarantine. I had a perfect quarantine because I don't have it. I don't have the virus. I don't have the virus. So clearly I'm doing everything perfectly. I don't have the virus. So that means I'm doing everything perfectly. Even though you did have it, you can get it again. That doesn't mean it is really weird. Her defense is very, very weird, but she is very, 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 very clueless is a nice word. If she's just clueless, that's one thing, but I just think that she doesn't really give a shit who's sick and if it's not her life, if it's not her circle of 50 good friends, or her family. I don't know how much she cares. I think she is, I could say she's the ultimate COVIDiot. She is like the classic, she's the poster woman for being a COVIDiot. But I don't think it's just that she's an idiot. I think she's a narcissist, and I think that she's like borderline sociopathic, and that if it doesn't affect her, she has a very hard time feeling what other people feel. The only time she is ever able to kind of listen to someone or offer advice to someone or be somehow maternal to somebody is if it has to do with a situation that she is connected with personally, like mother-daughter issues. So I'm not saying she's a sociopath, but I'm just saying she has some of those tendencies, and she is definitely a big-time narcissist. I don't need to be a psychiatrist, allegedly. I don't have the power to diagnose her. I am not an MD, I am not a psychiatrist, nor am I a psychologist. I have a PhD in the history of religion. That in no way qualifies me to label people with severe psychological conditions. There's my disclaimer. Okay. Yeah, I wrote that she's so coming back in her next life as a Bangladeshi laundress, beating clothes on a rock in a filthy river. She's so coming back. Boy, is she going to be surprised. She thinks she's going straight to heaven because she's amazing. All right, so now we have a little Leah montage mostly about her drinking and her escapades. They didn't show some of the best ones. I thought they didn't show some of the most extreme ones, but I guess they wanted to keep it brief. They could have done 45 minutes on Leah's drunken escapades. Yes, she announced that she has stopped drinking, which I think is fabulous. I think she's absolutely, I think she should not drink. I think we all saw that. I think her family knows it, her friends know it. Yeah, it's great that she decided that. And I wish her the best. Okay. Then they approach Dorinda. Approach with caution. Approach with caution. If you're going to ask Dorinda any questions about drinking, unless you want to get a backhand slap or a verbal backhand slap. Dorinda said that she always reels it in after the show, that she does too much drinking on the show. A lot of the housewives say this. They say, the producers and the handlers and the crew, they're instructed to keep everybody loaded. So if someone is drinking, they're like always there to hand them a drink, hand them a drink, hand them a drink. And I can tell you from experience, when have you, I'll ask you the same question. When in your life do you get the most drunk? It's when you're at a wedding or a charity gala or something where people are passing around drinks on a tray. Whatever the drink is, or champagne, and somehow you end up drinking half of it, setting it down, forgetting where it is, and you don't count. You don't know. It's not like when you're it's not like when you're in a club or a bar, or you're ordering and you kind of keep track in the back of your head. I'm not obsessed with it, but I would say 3 cocktails, time for me to stop, unless it's a real woohoo, but that's my limit. Often 2, but 3 is like, whoa, maximum, and that has to be with food. That's hard alcohol, wine, champagne. You guys know, I always tell you I share a bottle of wine with my husband, definitely on Saturday night. I have my glass of red wine, not every night, but probably like I'd say 3 nights a week. The Saturday, sharing a nice bottle with my husband out to dinner, and then I would say 2 nights during the week I have a nice big, you've seen them, glass of wine. I do it anyway, but I always make sure that my 2 nights are when I'm filming, because I'm sorry I don't have it tonight, but I've had an upset stomach. So I always kind of enjoy being snarky with a glass of wine. I don't know, but anyway. So if you are in a situation where they are literally just handing you drinks and kind of trying to keep you loaded, it takes a really kind of together person. Can't you just see, Dorinda, Leah and Sonja, Ramona. Ramona gets really drunk. She acts so pious, like, oh no, I just don't do that, but no, she does. So they don't keep track, and that's what happens. It's not usually an out and out deliberate act, as it was the case in Newport, where Leah was saying, this drink is really weak. Can you please put 2 shots of vodka in it? 2 more shots of vodka. So that's the deliberate choice to get drunk. But anyway, Dorinda says she reels it in after the show and that she doesn't normally have a problem. I mean, I kind of believe that. I think that there would be other signs and other things falling apart in her life, possibly if she was like a full-blown alcoholic. But here's the thing with Dorinda. Here's the reason why Dorinda needs to stop drinking, or drink very, very minimally if she can. Because, as we all know, she is the meanest drunk. She is mean, 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 mean. And mean drunks should stay away from alcohol. Take it from me, I grew up with one. Not my mother, not my father, but I grew up with one. Yeah, so no. I see someone like that and I'm like, nope, you can't drink. Nope, I'm taking that away from you. Nope. Okay. All right. Ramona says she only drinks water, which is why she's so thin. Bullshit. I love it. Dorinda goes, you're not that thin. All season, she has been hanging on Sonja, telling her that she needs to lose weight. And Ramona's lovely. I'm not fat shaming anybody. The ladies all look fine. They all look lovely. I mean, it's great that Sonja lost weight, but she was beautiful before. She's beautiful now. Ramona, again, she has a nice figure. She has great legs. She has great legs. But she, like me, we get that age and we put a little around the middle. And I would never say, that's why I'm so thin, or I'm so never. Oh my God. Well, number one, it's not true. But number two, it's just like, even when I was really thin, I never ever said, oh, that's why I'm so thin. I'm so thin. I'm so thin. Ick. No one wants to hear anybody say that. Shut up, Ramona. Just shut up. Okay. All right. But I love it when Dorinda says that, and then also implies that, oh yeah, you do drink. Not implies, but says, oh yeah, honey, you drink. And Ramona gets so upset. She goes, you're a liar. You should go to church. What? It's Ramona. You can't figure out the little hamster in the wheel that's running around in that brain. You can't know it. You cannot know its intentions or its motivations or even where it's going. Even though it's just spinning around on a wheel, it thinks it's going somewhere. Okay, Luann will not label herself an alcoholic. She will not say she has a drinking problem. She will not label herself an alcoholic, which again continues to worry me. I wish her good luck. I hope she can keep it together. Maybe she can. I really hope for her sake that she can. Of course, the subject of her drinking makes Dorinda mean. So as soon as they try and bring it up, what does? She goes right into defensive mode, attack. Don't bring up her drinking. Don't. Nope, you're not going to get anywhere, and she's just going to be meaner than a snake. She's just going to come out and attack you. So, all right. Now we go over this whole thing, which is actually really boring. They're talking about concerns over Sonja's drinking, which is kind of a non-starter now because, she says that she has stopped. She's now had several months of not drinking, and I think that she likes the way she looks and the way she feels, so hopefully she will stick to it. But they bring up that whole thing. She has to bring up that whole thing about how the only reason why she looked so drunk in some of the scenes was because those water pills she was taking. This is so dumb. I'm just going to pass by it. Let's just swipe. Yeah, because it's ridiculous. Guys, it's not true. There's no water pill in the world that makes you act like a fall down, messy drunk. I'm sorry. It wasn't just making her walk funny, like off balance. She was slurring her speech. She was drunk. Okay, anyway, enough of that. All right, now we're going to talk about Tinsley. Let's all remember that Tinsley gave us the gift that is Martin, the boxing trainer. Martin, who really needs to be a significant part of next season. Please make him a friend of. Make him a friend of Leah. Tinsley was originally the one who hired him as a boxing coach, but then Leah came along and now Leah's using him. So I'm gonna need more Martin. I love him. He's a priceless character, and he can do nothing but be 100% himself. So yeah, thank you, Tins. Thanks, Tins. Okay, so we're going to talk about, well, she says obviously she and Scott are still together. She shows the ring. It's large. And they're planning the wedding, etc., etc. The way that she kind of looks when they say, or she says they're still together, is a little off, but maybe I'm just reading too much into it. I'm always worried when you have to work that hard to get a proposal out of somebody. Maybe that, I don't know. I guess I don't have a lot of patience. And I shouldn't say I don't have a lot of patience, because it's not like I would date someone and be like, oh, we need to get married right away. No, not at all. In fact, I wasn't usually thinking of it. But I think because I've never really been in this situation, but I think that if I were really into somebody and I really loved them and I saw a future with them, and I was just having to pull teeth to get them to move slowly, step by step, to asking me to marry them, I'd have to move on. I can be insecure in certain ways, but I think I have a pretty good sense of my self-worth in terms of what I can bring to a marriage or a partnership. So I think I feel like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna fight for this. It shouldn't be this hard. It should be like, it should be something that you both want equally. It shouldn't be one person kind of hanging around hoping that she bumps into him in Chicago so that he'll notice her again and they can get back together. Anyway, look, I wish her well. I really do. Tinsley's story's been kind of sad, and I feel for her, even though she has a lot. She's a very privileged white woman, okay? But, clearly. But I would like her to, I would like it to work out, but I don't know. I'm just not 100% convinced. I'm just always worried when you have to work that hard to get somebody to seem like they're into you. Yeah, she says it's because of the show. He hated her being on the show. But look, she was willing to dump that show in a second once he told her, okay, let's head on the road to marriage. In other words, when they were having trouble earlier, like the previous season, if he had said, you know what, leave the show and we'll get married, she would have been out of there. Nobody wants to get married more than Tinsley Mortimer. Nobody. So, all right. Then we talk about how, Leah was very supportive of everything. The others were very skeptical. And that, of course, they were skeptical because, like all of us, we saw them break up so many times. And we saw her crying over him so many times. And that does get old. So she did keep it a secret when they came back together, which still in no way explains Dorinda's weirdness over why Why are you hiding this? Why are you hiding this from me? What have you got to hide? Why so secretive? I don't have much longer to do Dorinda, so maybe I've heard a rumor that if she goes to anger management, they might have her come back on, or have her come back on as a friend. Because if she can like not be viciously mean, if she can not be a mean drunk, I would love her back on the show. I love non-mean drunk Dorinda. She's funny. Okay, and it's interesting because two of the other ladies, Luann and Ramona, big surprise, I'm not surprised at this at all, said, oh, they would leave the show in a heartbeat for a marriage. If they met the right man who wanted to get married and he said, you can't be on the show, they would leave it in a heartbeat. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Yeah, Luann and Ramona would love to score some super rich guy high on the social ladder, and I'm sure they'd do just about anything for that, but it's a little sad. I don't know. Again, no judgment. Oh, come on, what am I saying? All I do is judge here. Okay, Dorinda, or Dorito, as Martin called her. I love you, Martin. Martin, come back to us, please. You've got one fan in Miami who loves you. He has a lot of fans. We talk about the turkey baster comment, which was just so offsides. Oh my, I mean, that is so low. That's like making fun of somebody with a disability. I mean, we don't even know if she has fertility issues. We don't, but she is at the kind of scary age, quote unquote, for fertility. So yeah, IVF and things like that are probably in her, future once they get married. But to bring it up, oh, it's such an uncomfortable subject. It's just, no, it's not just uncomfortable. It's not an uncomfortable subject. It's a subject that we should be open and talk about. If we want to talk about it, we can talk about it. But I'm saying it's so uncomfortable to kind of think that that's fair game for a joke. No. That is, of all the mean things Dorinda ever said, and we could make quite a montage of mean drunk Dorinda, that turkey baster comment was the worst. And you see Tinsley's face, and she's just like, it's very, very nasty. Okay, no surprise. Tinsley and Dorinda do not speak. And when Andy asked if they were still in touch, Tinsley was like, no. They will never speak again. They shouldn't speak again. Tinsley should never speak to Dorinda again. And there's no reason. There's no reason for them to be friends. They live in different cities. Dorinda was just too nasty and too horrible. There's nothing there. Just live your lives. No. Why would you want Dorinda in your life? And obviously she doesn't, so I'm glad. Dorinda actually apologizes to Tinsley for that specific comment. I guess we're all supposed to say, oh, well, that's something, but how about the other 50 really nasty things that you said to her? So again, just go your separate ways. Go your separate ways. Okay. Now, we get this giant bombshell at the end of this reunion, which is kind of not terribly exciting. It's fine. It's fine. But it's been kind of like a, part one of the reunion. And suddenly, we get the answer to what I have been asking all season. What is it that makes Dorinda hate Tinsley so much? And remember, I was surmising because Dorinda thinks that she had this very high society kind of life. Was she fundamentally jealous because Dorinda's from a very kind of middle class, Irish Catholic background, and Tinsley was from this kind of Southern aristocracy and was married to a Mortimer, which is on a par with the Morgans and the Rockefellers and all that. Was it envy? Was it envy that Tinsley was born with all this? But it didn't make sense because Dorinda had a very lovely life. She had a beautiful life. And so why? It just didn't make sense. Well, now we know why Dorinda cannot stand the sight of Tinsley. And it has nothing to do with poor Tinsley. And it also shows how kind of Dorinda's mind works. When the cast was in Miami, Dorinda learned that John Mahdessian went to Scott for money. He asked him for money. I don't know if he asked him for money or if he tried to make it sound like an investment or if he asked him for a loan, but the backside of it is he asked Scott for money and Scott gave John Mahdessian money. And Dorinda found out about it. And there is this whole mess in Miami that was fully filmed. Cameras, mics, everything, which they decided not to show at the time, probably because Dorinda said, if you show that, I will quit. Well, guess what? Now she's been fired. So now we see it. This is the exact moment where Dorinda chooses to lie. She thinks she's safe because she believes that the recording of her actually screaming on the phone to John for taking money or borrowing money from Scott will never be seen by anyone, because she told the producers that if they showed it, she would quit. And we see Dorinda in the hallway of that big fancy house they rented on the water in Miami. And we see her talking to John Mahdessian like she sounds like a truck driver. She sounds like a gangster. She is furious. And she is, oh my God. Yeah, she's like, don't use my friend for money. Don't you ever, effing, there's a whole lot of swearing going on. Don't you ever go to my people, to my friends, ever behind my back, and don't you ever go to them for money. She is absolutely humiliated. We see her face, we see the rage in her face when she is talking to John. She's trying not to scream because she doesn't want everyone in the house to hear it, but she is, if she could scream, if she were alone, she'd be screaming at him. Dorinda almost immediately turned her rage against Tinsley, to the point where the producers had to remove Tinsley from the house because they were worried about Tinsley's safety. So, you have to realize that this is the most humiliating thing. She knew that Scott would have told Tinsley because, look, that's part of a relationship. It would be weird not to tell your partner, oh, your friend, even though Dorinda is not her friend, your friend's partner came to me for money, and I gave him some money. That's normal for him to have told Tinsley. So Dorinda knows that Tinsley knows, and this is everything. You understand? This is everything. She doesn't think the world is ever going to find out about it because she's clearly threatened the producers. If you don't put that on the show. If you put that on the show, I'm out of here. I'm done. I'm gone. So she thinks she's safe in terms of the world knowing it, but what really kills her, what stabs her right in the heart, is Tinsley knows. Now you have to realize that Dorinda kind of likes to see herself as sort of a Kennedy widow. She thinks she's this person that was with these very, very high level, respected people, and that she is, her view of herself is of this very kind of almost aristocratic widow from this amazing marriage. And now she has this kind of, let's just say it, kind of sweaty boyfriend who, is not exactly, no one ever called John Mahdessian aristocratic or elite or anything like that. He goes to the fiance of the woman Dorinda is most envious of and threatened by and asks for money. and worse, Scott gives him money. I think this also helps explain the breakup between John and Dorinda, although, I mean, I think that might have been brewing for a while, but she seemed to really have a hard time letting go of him. I'm not sure the timeline on that, so don't quote me, but I think she would have a hard time looking at him the same way again. After what I saw in that phone call, I think that probably any love left for John Mahdessian was kind of done. So, Dorinda was humiliated by the fact that Tinsley, who already seems to have everything and now has a rich fiancé, has something over her. But that just opened every window for me in this story and explained everything. And I'm so happy. This is the only reason I'm happy they fired Dorinda. I'm not so happy they fired Dorinda, but I'm happy that they explained to us what was going on, because we're all watching this like, what? Why? Yes, we know Dorinda is a mean drunk, but why this vicious attack all the time on Tinsley? Well, now we know. And I have to say, let's say it's a silver lining of Dorinda being fired when she was. She might come back, but for the time that she was fired, they were able to play that footage. And we saw her face and we heard the tone of voice, and we know. And now we know. So it kind of started out like a meh, you know, part one of the reunion, but it turned into wow. Okay, wow. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I am so happy that you could join me. I love having you here. Please remember to like, comment, love your comments, and subscribe. You would do me a very, very, very great honor, a very great favor if you would push the red subscribe button and then just hit that bell, and you can get notified when I have new uploads, which are fairly regular. And it looks like, yeah, there's going to be pretty consistent content and a lot of shows kind of forever. So, you know, both franchises, the 90-day group of shows and the Housewives shows, adding new programs, you know, so I think that it's going to be a pretty consistent, pretty full year. So I really want you to join me for everything that's coming down the pike, and everything that's up and running now. And I want you to take really good care of yourself and be good, but not too good. Bye.